Okay, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and just say an official again, welcome everyone to Sundays with Spirit. I'm Angela Potts Manganda. I am a member of the staff of the Power of Love Ministry and one of the counselors in the counselor team. And I'm so grateful that Rainbow's here today. I got to meet her back in 2016. And I've also had the beautiful privilege to be with Omi Omi as well. And those are our two guests for today. You'll get to meet them and we'll be blessed by them. And yeah, I'm so grateful you're here today. So let us begin with a prayer. Okay. Just taking a nice, nourishing breath and really feeling ourselves drop into this sacred space. Just really letting ourselves be held by the love, the infinite love of spirit. And I'm so deeply grateful for all of you who are making up this container today. Thank you for coming, and all those who will listen later. We're so grateful for this beautiful community where we get to join together, explore, and learn and grow together on this beautiful path of awakening that we are on. We're grateful in this moment to offer up any distractions, anything that could pull us away from the here and now, where we have so many blessings to receive. And we're grateful for you, Rainbow, for coming out today, for sharing from your heart and letting Spirit use you to inspire and touch us all. And we thank you, Omi Omi, for coming out, for sharing your gift of song, for giving us that healing transmission through your music. And we're grateful for everyone who's making this service possible. We bless Jennifer Hadley, who's attending an elders gathering in her other community, and we know that we'll be blessed by them. We send our blessings, and truly we recognize the oneness that is life. So we are relaxed, we are open, we clear a space here and now to be blessed so that we can go forth and be a blessing to all. So we give thanks for this time, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. Okay. All right, awesome. So as I mentioned, we have our guests today are Rainbow Welton, and our musical guest is Omi Omi Ibukemi. I tried the last name, I think. And we're going to start with a musical offering, and I will just officially introduce Omi Omi for anybody who's not heard her before or been in her beautiful presence. And so Omi Omi Ibukemi is a singer, songwriter, and musician who has performed on stages throughout the United States for many years. Omi Omi opens portals with her voice. As a shaman priest, she performs, writes, and produces music for ceremonies, rituals, rites of passage, initiations, or whatever's required for the evolutionary state of an individual or group. She also provides music for events, chants, and sings at church services, spiritual centers, and much more. So Omi Omi, you can please come and join me here. Oops, see, I'm just gonna need patience here. I'm gonna bring you in. And so if you could please offer us, what's just happened there? Okay. There you are.
All
if
right.
you could please take it away.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and giving honor to God, Oludumare, Spirit of the universe, creator of all things, my ancestors, Reverend Jennifer Hadley, and to this beautiful community. I'm here to surrender into and in, through, and ask the presence of God as song. Ashe. running here, hiding there. I only find life here in this prayer. And in this place, visions become real. Where you let go, no matter how you feel. In this place, I am healed. And heaviness played softly on my mind. But in the stillness, the truth I find. And in this place, I'll sing till I'm free. And I walk through all my fears. In this place, I am here. In this place, y'all, in this place, God speaks to me here. In this place, I am here. In this place, y'all, in this place, God speaks to me right here. In this place, I am here. In this place, in this holy place, I can stop and be still. And right here and right now, I am in the presence of God in this place. Say.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful. I remember last time how hard it was to transition back to like, whew, it's a transporting experience, and then you're back. So thank you. Thank you for bringing us into the present moment, into our heart. Thank you, Omi Omi. Okay, so I am now going to be introducing you, Rainbow. 1 second. I don't know why that's not. Okay. I feel like there's something going on there, but it's not letting me do that. Okay. Well, I wanted to add, here we go. Yes. All right. Well, Rainbow, I'm so happy to have you. I'm going to first introduce you officially, and then we'll be so happy to hear what you have prepared for us today. Okay, so as I mentioned, though, Rainbow and I, we did get to meet in 2016, and I got to meet her precious little baby daughter, who's now 5.
Yes.
And so that's blowing my mind. Yeah. Okay. So this is Reverend Rainbow Welton, and Rainbow is a dynamic presenter who pulls from her vast experience being raised in New Thought. That's awesome. And her background in theater to present practical tools for awakening. She currently serves as the co-spiritual director at the Ahava Center for Spiritual Living in Lexington, Kentucky, where she lives with her wife and 5-year-old daughter. Rainbow has over 20 years of experience in youth ministry and has worked with hundreds of individuals and families as a spiritual teacher and coach. In 2016, Reverend Rainbow was the first to be certified as a spiritual counselor with the Power of Love Ministry, and is grateful for the impact Jennifer has had on her life as one of her most influential teachers. She also serves on the Visioning Core for Centers for Spiritual Living. Reverend Rainbow is here to assist others in living their most joyful, creative, and inspired life through her ministry at Ahava, as well as her work as a consciousness coach. So we will, we're so blessed. And Rainbow is part of our Parenting with Spirit staff or panel. And Rainbow will be sharing its next It's a
In a
week.
couple of weeks. I think it's near the end of August. Yeah.
Okay, so you get to have a feel for her, and if anybody is part of the Parenting with Spirit series, you will hear more from Rainbow, and there's still an opportunity to get in on that too as well. So Rainbow, I will take it away. Oh, thank you, Arba, August 22nd.
Yes, okay. Arba with the details there.
Arba's with the details. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to give this over to you, Rainbow.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you all today, and for each of you who felt that calling to show up and to be present, knowing that your energy here adds to this collective field as we are all together. I am tuning in from Lexington, Kentucky, here at Ahava, which is my spiritual community. And Ahava is the Hebrew word for love. And so that's where that comes from. And if you see behind me on the wall, it says, "Love is always the answer." And that is one of our guiding principles here. So today I want to talk about this idea of being pulled by vision. Right? We can either be pushed by pain or pulled by vision. And I want to clarify a little bit what this idea of a vision is. Because sometimes there's confusion around the practice of visualization with the practice of visioning. So visualization, it's a great tool for creating, for manifesting, right? Where we get to vision and think about in our mind what we desire to experience in life. But it's coming more from our own ideas, right? And kind of putting that out into the universe. But visioning is a different practice, and it's one that comes from direct revelation of spirit. It is that something greater within us that is calling us to emerge from that cocoon and blossom into our greatest expression of self. As an individualized expression of the one infinite reality, we always have access to the infinite wisdom and intelligence of the ultimate reality. Knowing that this one life flows through us as us to the degree in which we set aside our own ideas and become aware and conscious of that impress of spirit, of universal spirit, of God, of life, whatever word works for you, yes? So direct revelation is available to us through our intuition, and it can be intentionally cultivated through this spiritual practice of visioning, where we open up and listen to that voice of spirit that is calling us towards this greater vision for ourselves, for our lives. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with this practice. I know it's something that Jennifer uses and teaches often, and often kicks off the new year with a visioning where you can kind of listen for what is going to be that guiding principle for your life in this year, and to open up to Spirit's highest vision. And it's a practice in which we cultivate that field of consciousness and illuminate what wants to emerge into form. But here's the key, right? We have to first be willing to let go of our own preconceived ideas or limitations, our own ideas about ourselves that we get from the various voices in the world or wherever they may come from, and to let that go and be willing to be open to something greater. Because we can either be pushed by the pain, by resisting as like pushing density, right? Or we can be pulled from a vision. So when we take the time to intentionally call forth, to listen to that vision for our lives, for our family, our career, our relationship, any area in our lives, when we listen to that vision that is pulling us forward, we will then be led and guided and supported along the way as to what is ours to do, to be, and to become. So I want to share a vision that was pulling me, and I pretty much knew all my life that I wanted to have a child and start a family. At one point, I thought that I was going to adopt like 10 kids, but now I have my one and done. But this vision of having a child was something I knew I always wanted. Yet when it got time to the place where my wife and I were actively talking about that, I noticed that resistance coming up. And it was a little unconscious, and then sometimes would become more conscious. The fear that would come in around, is this going to, having a child, is it going to take away from my alone time, my creative time, my spiritual practice, right? I am an introvert and I just love my space and my quietness. And so there's a little bit of fear of like, well, what's that going to look like with being a parent? I also, had this kind of idea that I had to have it all together and all figured out, right? I had to know, like, be in my perfect career and have my finances all straightened out and be in, like, this great place in my life. And then when I realized, like, life, we are always growing, we are always expanding. There's never going to be that perfect it moment of having it all together. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the messy, right? It's all about embracing our humanness and allowing that divine self to transform us and to show up and meet that calling, meet that vision on the other side of who we knew ourselves to be, and get to know who we truly are when we embrace a vision. So I had this intention and I knew it would be manifest. But yet with this conflict going on within myself, it was kind of like this pushing and pulling, right? And we would take steps, of course, being in a relationship with another woman, there were things that we had to do quite differently in order to create a family. And so it ended up being about a 3-year journey until we finally were able to, my wife was pregnant and she gave birth to our beautiful daughter, Cadence, who is now 5.5. And I had to get to a place where I allowed my commitment to this vision of having a family be greater than my resistance, and to step out in that faith and trust. And what a journey it has been. I mean, more love than I could have ever imagined, and so many opportunities for growth. I'm not saying it's been easy by any means, but it has definitely been a life-enhancing, enriching, powerful experience. She has been my teacher in so many ways, as well as, my own relationship with my wife and with being co-parents together and all those different dynamics. So many opportunities for growth, for transformation. It's like it's in our relationships, for me at least, that we kind of rub up against each other and become having these opportunities to become something greater than we knew ourselves to be. And I'm going to be talking more about that when I do have the opportunity to present for the Parenting with Spirit class. So highly recommend you jumping in that if you haven't yet. The previous teachers and content has been so powerful, just as we share and we're vulnerable and we're willing to learn together. So what it all boils down to is that we are always at choice, right? We get to choose to allow ourselves to get clear on that vision that is pulling us, and we get to choose whether we're going to take action towards that vision, right? Many may be called or have this idea of this urge, but don't actually do the work and take the action and step out in faith to allow that to become manifest. So it's up to us to do the work, to contemplate, to meditate, to vision, and to listen to that inner guidance or our soul's calling. Or we could choose to stay in our comfort zone and allow our fears and our doubts to dictate our lives. But I know for me, I have found, although it's not always easy, it is definitely worth it when I step out of my comfort zone and follow that inner guidance. And part of that as well is becoming aware of how our life can be in alignment with the vision that is calling us. There may be some things we have to shift in our life. There may be some ways of being. There may be people in our lives or physical places that we have to shift and grow in order to allow this vision to unfold. So checking in and getting in alignment with what is our core values, right? And what do we hold sacred? And how can we allow that to continue to pull us forward, right? So are you going to believe what the world tells you that you can do or who you are? Or are you going to listen to that guidance and trust and believe what God tells you you are and what you can do? And in that place comes the opportunity for transformation. And trust me, when you declare that you are ready to experience transformation, woo, you better buckle your seatbelt, be ready, because transformation requires us to go to a place of being in our own consciousness in which we have never been before. What? It's like it is truly a leap in faith because we are transforming our consciousness such in a way that we have never been to that place before. That who we know ourselves to be is different than who we knew ourselves to be in the past. And yet I know we want to know the how and the what and exactly how it's going to unfold and when, and would definitely prefer if it was on our own timeline, right? And check that off. But there is so much value in being willing to embrace the unknown, to step out in faith and allow Spirit to lead the way. But it can be a struggle. It can be so much easier to just stay in that comfort zone and resist that calling that takes us to a place of the unknown. Yet that is exactly what is required. To step into the unknown and allow God's vision of itself to be known in our individuality, in our own human experience. To open us up completely to a new idea, a wholly new experience, to a direct experience of the mind of the infinite, which is our mind, because there is only one mind, one life, one cosmic isness that is happening in, as, and through each of us. So with visioning, we get to move forward in faith, trust that something greater is pulling us. No matter what, or despite, rather, in spite, whatever the word is, the hesitation or the resistance that we have, we must continue to move forward, to be pulled, and to know that we are supported. We are completely supported by the entire universe, for we would not have had that vision revealed through us if we did not have all the resources and the ability to have it fulfilled. So, are you willing to let your commitment to your vision be greater than your resistance? Or are you going to allow the fear and the doubt to keep you safe and comfortable? There is that divine urge within each of us, something that is calling us forward. And the first step is simply to be willing. The degree in which we are willing to embody oneness, the degree in which we are willing to embody wholeness, to embody spirit, God, life, universe itself, knowing that that life is expressing in us, and to which we allow this vision of life to be manifest through us as us. Are you willing to trust that that which already made you perfect, to then manifest itself as an even greater expression of life as you than you can even imagine? Are you willing to surrender control and to step into your greater yet to be by embracing true transformation? Just as the caterpillar goes into that cocoon and it must embrace the unknown, embrace the darkness in such that what it knew itself to be completely dissolves, becomes this magical goo in which something greater emerges, and the butterfly becomes that new expression that the caterpillar never could have imagined itself to be. So what is the vision that is calling you forward? And what are the steps that you can take, the structures for support, the spiritual practices you can engage in that will keep you steadfast in that vision? When the world and other people's opinions began to express the worry, the fear, the doubt, what are your practices so that you are so strong in your knowing, in your truth of that vision that is calling you forward, that you remain unwavered? That vision is calling you forward in such a way that you know it will be manifest. You might not know when or how, but trusting that the universe always has your back, because again, you wouldn't have that vision if you didn't also have all the resources to allow it to become manifest. So what I believe is that as a society, we are being pulled by a vision that honors the magnificent diversity of humanity. You can see the shifts, the transformation that is occurring in our world right now. This vision that recognizes and honors every racial, cultural, gender, sexuality, ethnic, age, or ability identity. Knowing that this brings a uniqueness that is essential to the evolution of humanity. So as we do our part in listening and cultivating that vision, and then saying yes to step out in trust and faith and to take action towards that which we are being called to do, leaving those old fears and doubts behind, we then are taking part in the collective shift of humanity and the transformation that is being called forth in this greater level. It can only happen through us and through each of us individually stepping into the greater yet to be, our higher selves. So that is the vision that is calling me now. This vision for equity, for justice, for love. And I get to actualize this vision every day by knowing that each person I meet in this journey called life is the beloved, and being willing to see that divinity in another. Even when they cut me off in traffic or whatever circumstance in life that may irritate and annoy us, to know that everyone is the beloved. That is where I do my work to allow this vision of humanity to unfold. So I invite you this week to listen to what is stirring in your heart and to be willing, or as Jennifer says, at least willing to be willing, to allow that vision to have its way through you as it only can, uniquely as you. Yes? Yes, yes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rainbow. It's so fun to see you come to life. And I now saw the theater come out, but thank you for bringing this beautiful, it's actually my favorite topic of all time. Um, so I'm going to lead the group and I'm going to grab a few of Jennifer's life visioning questions and we can just spend a little time. Why not? So thank you for getting us started and for laying this beautiful foundation. All right. So yeah, if you haven't given some applause, yeah. Yeah, let's just take a few moments to let that land. And if you feel comfortable to close your eyes and place your hands on your heart or place your hands in an open, receptive mudra, whatever feels comfortable, let's just go to that place, the source where we receive the messages, where we commune with our higher self, with the infinite field of intelligence, with spirit. Let's just take a few breaths here. So grateful for the opportunity and the reminder again and again to come to this still space, to clear that space so we can really listen. It's such an act of self-love. And we're so grateful to know that we are one with the one. We're so grateful to know we were put here to co-create with a loving, creative, amazing, magnificent God. And just taking a moment to acknowledge what feels like our unique abilities, our unique gifts. If we think back to when we were a child, what did we like to do that maybe nobody taught us? It just came from us. We came here to express it. And so it's important to keep the breath flowing deeply here. So nice deep breaths in the nose and out the nose. I'm just going to share 2 questions from the questions that Jennifer shares with her classes. And just see what comes to you as you deeply breathe and you hold this loving connection. So the first question is, what is the divine idea or the divine vision for my life? What is the divine idea, the highest aspiration for my life? What is my soul's purpose for being here? And just take a deeper breath and a nice exhale. And we're just giving thanks if anything occurred to us, knowing it doesn't have to come in clear words. It may come on a whole other level. It may come later. Okay, and the next question is, what is it I'm being called to expand into, to receive, to allow, to express? What is it I'm feeling called to expand into, to receive, to allow, to express? And we'll take a deeper breath again. Exhale. So we'll just give thanks for this time again to be mainly just in that beautiful presence of love. Grateful for this remembrance to come to the still, quiet place. And also knowing we can receive these visions anywhere, anytime, but that we are willing, that we are asking, we are saying yes. And so as we move into the breakout, actually, let me make sure. Is it right? Okay. Okay, we're going to do our song now. Okay, yeah, we'll do our song and then we'll move into the breakout. But I know Omi Yomi will add to this and enrich this space. And so I will bring you on in, Omi Yomi. I knew it. Spirit told me, don't do the breakout yet. Not yet. Okay. All right.
Ashe. Ashe, everybody. God is all I am, and I surrender here today. La 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 la. And I love you, Lord God. There are no worries today. La 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 la. La 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 la. Alleluia. Alleluia. La 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 la. La 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 la. Join me. Wherever you are, just sing la la with me. Here we go. La la la, la la, la la, la la, la la. La la, la la, la la, la la, la. La 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 la. Ashe.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. So refreshing. I'm so grateful for this energy we're creating today. It feels so good, so nourishing. Thank you so much. Okay, well, now is when we invite our participants to head into the breakout if you feel called. We're setting up smaller rooms. We're trying to really have a nice small conversation. People do move around, so if you get shifted, please just understand we're trying to make the rooms balanced as possible. You can go into the breakout just to listen, and surely we'd love for everyone to hold a compassionate space and just give everyone equal time to share. And it feels like we go into the breakout and just share if anything came through about the divine idea for your life. What is it that's coming through for you to express? And also, I know for me, it's very powerful when I'm willing to share my vision with even one person. It has a profound effect on getting that ball rolling. And if you have any resistance and you're willing to share that, I've done that. And a friend of mine totally just eliminated my excuse. Okay. So, in a beautiful, loving way, and said, well, you could just do it like this. You don't have to make it so hard. And I was like, okay, yep, that's true. So, anything you're willing to share about what came through, if you have any resistance and you feel ready, use that group if you'd like to also offload any of the resistance or fears coming up around it. So that's quite a lot, but I think you can handle it. So I'm going to set up the rooms. You should see an invitation come on your screen. If you don't and you missed it, along your bottom menu bar, there's a breakout room button that will give you another chance to get in. So I'm going to reassign a couple of people. Okay. Okay. Here. All right, just a little bit of, forgive me, folks, I'll be right with you. Okay, so we are good. And now I can do this and welcome. All right, so we have our kind of Facebook Live group that we do now. Sorry. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, wow. And so we're here just to share on Facebook Live. We're so grateful. Araba is in the house. Hey, Faith, it's good to see you as well. And thank you, Rosalind. Hey, Maureen. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm calling you guys the elders. Jennifer's at her elders gathering, but we've got our own Sundays with Spirit panel of experts and I guess elders, but you're here to share your insights, which we're so grateful for. And I'm sorry, just needing to do, okay. And so I will start with you, Rosalind, if you're open to it, just to share what's coming through for you today.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for a powerful, really quiet, really deep service talk, but it's more than a talk. It was a communication. And Omi Omi, I particularly liked your last song because it fit with surrender and the la la la. The going along with la 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 speaks to me about not resisting. And when I was in India in 1995, I had already been a Course in Miracles student for maybe 10 years. And I was very focused on free choice and choose again, and the way that A Course in Miracles speaks to us from that separated place. And my friends that I was going with, we were going to a guru who was very good at working with psychotherapists with the Western mind. And they were worried about me because they knew that this teacher was going to speak of no choice, that there's no choice. We're all in the hands of God. We're all being moved. But the important point he made is that it's going to feel the same. All right, whether we interpret it as our choice or whether we're being moved. That stayed with me since 1995. He said it feels the same. And it's only the separate self that wants to say it was my choice or it wasn't my choice. But the fact that the experience is the same was very moving and lightening my load, because I no longer had to do what he said we do in the West, which is that we love our goals, but we hurt ourselves most of the time by not achieving and not doing. And what Reverend Rainbow talked about today was really opening, and Angela, it was brilliant of you to bring up Jennifer's techniques and questions, because they're such a great fit to what does the oneness want to happen. And then Omi Omi speaking to, through music, allowing that to happen. And her first song about we're home. And Angela's prayer is oneness is where we are in the now. And it all comes together so beautifully. For me, I too was an introvert. I have to put it in the past because what Spirit has asked of me since my daughter's untimely, maybe I shouldn't say untimely anymore, early passing, because whatever happens is the right time. So I think I'll drop that word untimely. And Krishnamurti said, I don't mind what happens, and that's my secret. And so I think any time there's any kind of tug of war going on in my life, I think of that. And how does he get there? And many other gurus say the same thing since then. It's allowing what is. It doesn't mean we agree, we would vote for it or choose it, but it is. And if we want to join wholeheartedly with our calling, then we have to allow everything that is and see what it brings. And so I'm no longer an introvert. If you count the amount of time I spend in either teaching or speaking, and I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with that. Would I have designed that? No, thank you. I would have, from my viewpoint now, withheld whatever came to me, whatever openings, whatever teachings there were. I would have chosen to keep them to myself or my intimates. But it no longer feels like the flow. That would feel so constricting to me. And so why would I fight that and create suffering? That would be like fighting Melissa's passing. Why did it happen? Why should it? We should have. Why didn't? That is suffering. And if I want the freedom that I've enjoyed, I have to drop the rope. And dropping the rope means, to me, not minding what happened. Thank you.
Wow, Rosalind, it's so deeply powerful. I just have been not able to put my heart up. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Faith, would you like to share? Are you able to unmute? Here you go.
Yes, Angela, I actually got into the service quite late and just heard the very tail end of Reverend Rainbow's talk, and I'm will definitely listen to it on the replay because I was so inspired by the end of it and what has been shared. This idea that Rosalind brought up about wholeheartedly embracing our calling or embracing my calling, which has really been up for me, and this idea that my calling is to get to inspire others and to embrace others and to help everyone that I meet who get their gifts and talents out into the world. But it also means that for myself. And so that vision of what that means, and it's an interesting thing. There are many times I feel like I truly am an introvert as well. But I go out and perform, and I've performed my whole life, and somehow that gave me a purpose. And I think that that's what it is when you truly have a heart purpose, when you know your why. Why am I doing this? That certainly leads me into a place of letting the doubts drop away, hearing the calling, stepping forth and answering it, even when it feels bigger than I can do.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Faith. Yeah. Well, you got out a lot out of what you heard, so that's awesome. Yeah, Arvo, would you like to share? We're so happy to have you today on our Facebook panel. Thank you for stepping up. Yeah.
Thank you, Angela, for the invitation to be here. And this was perfectly timed, as everything is, from Spirit. Being part of the Parenting with Spirit series, both as faculty and as a participant, this has really been a way of bringing forth this personal transformation for me, as well as being willing to look at the vastness of being expanded and whether I am wholehearted and rubbing up against the not being 100% and yet still knowing that it's going to happen. I can slow it as much as I might like to try, but it's still happening. And that gives me confidence and also just a surety that, you know, trusting in Spirit, it is all unfolding in divine timing. And claiming that, you know, that doesn't feel comfortable. And yet staying constricted and small no longer feels comfortable either. And so when you're in that transition period, it can feel like you're regressing. It can feel like you're lost. It can feel like the darkness is overwhelming. But what I know to be true is that as we continue to show up, others see and feel that light within us. And they hold it for us and remind us so gently, as Rainbow did today, that it's there and it's present, and we simply must be willing to allow. So I'm grateful for that reminder. And as you were speaking, the song Sound of Silence, the beginning of that song really speaks to me, and the portion that really feels aligned with this is, you know, hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. But for the vision that came, right? For the vision that came when I was sleeping, and it's left its seeds there. And that those seeds are what we can't ignore. The seeds of the vision continue to show up around us. And I'm grateful that I am still sleeping, but I am awakening and I'm embracing the vision. Thank you.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, this speaks to all of us. It's just such a core human, like, yeah, anyway, my favorite topic ever. Omi, would you like to share on the topic? Anything that's moved you?
Yeah, sure. It's amazing to me. It's easy to sit and think about transformation. And, one of my teachers, Reverend Michael, used to say, transformation isn't something that you sit and think about. It's something that happens just like that. It just happens in the moment. That's transformation. And so I've experienced that a couple of times. And one of the things that I would specifically like to speak about is, I had just moved to Colorado, and I was driving through the mountains in my truck, and all of a sudden, in the dark, they pull us off the road in a snowstorm. You understand what I'm trying to say? And so I'm in the middle of a snowstorm in the dark, never been in snow before in my whole life. And now it's the only thing that I can see in front of me is white and wind and dark. I can't even see the car that's in front of me. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm experiencing all of the emotions in the moment. And then I get to the other side. And just to the other side, it's clear, there's no wind, it's not even snowing. And, I'm up 11,000 feet on the mountain, and then I come down. And so I'm saying that to say, yes, being in purpose is being in change. Being in the moment is being in transformation as it's happening. It's life as it's going on. Sometimes, the snowstorm, and I'm going, I'm gonna die, and then all of a sudden here I am. I make it through the snowstorm. Now, do I want to go back through that snowstorm again? No, I don't. But I was invigorated, and then the deities and everything that was going on 11,000 feet up in the middle of the dark in the snow, and all of that was also happening. And so the transformation that takes place in the moment of being in purpose is anything could change in the moment. Anything could change in the moment, and fear, and I could experience, moments of fear and moments of this and moments of that, and being still. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because thou art with me. I'm moving through in the moment, as the moment. Ashe.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. It feels to me like all of you had prepared these talks today, but they're just coming through so powerfully. But again, I feel like it's because the topic is just so, it's right at our heart center. It's just everything. Yeah, Rainbow, do you want to respond at all to all this inspiration coming from you?
Sure. I know, like, so many thoughts on each thing someone said. So, so I'll kind of go through. So, Rosalind, something you said around, accepting life, right? Accepting what is. And so life's going to happen. And it's really about our perspective, right? How are we going to choose to see what is occurring? Are we going to resist it, or are we going to allow it to transform us, to be an opportunity for growth, and to see how it could be for us, and to trust and allow what is occurring, that it's all in divine order. So just kind of reiterating that thought came to me from what you shared. And then I believe, Araba, when you were sharing, what came to me was this idea of the importance of spiritual community. It's the ability to hold and know, to see the truth for someone else when they can't see it for themselves, right? So when we get in that place of fear and doubt, how we have other people around us to know and affirm our wholeness, to see that divinity within us, until we can kind of wake up and remember that for ourselves. So to me, that's why spiritual community is so important. Community in general is something I'm passionate about, but specifically spiritual community, one in which we know and see the wholeness in others. And I think that's why I'm so called to do what I do in creating and working with a spiritual community, and to be that place of love and support for one another. And then I was just thinking about that story about the snowstorm, and it reminded me, years ago I was hiking in the Grand Canyon, and I had that visceral experience of fear, right? It's like, it's so windy, and I had no idea that these paths would be like this big, and there's no rail or anything. You just look down and there's the canyon for miles and miles, and you look up. So, I got to this point where it was so windy. I was kind of on the corner here, and I just I got paralyzed in fear, and I'm like gripping the side of the canyon wall and like slowly sinking down to now I'm just kind of like sitting against the wall, anything that felt solid and real, right? And kind of holding on to that. So just, that visceral experience of fear. Meanwhile, like kids and families are skipping past me. And so it's like, okay, I really had to like work with that fear and overcome that in my own mind to remind myself, of that I am safe, that I'm always, guided and protected, and really check, like, is this what you want to do? And kind of get back to that place of being able to stand firmly on my own 2 feet. And so finally I kind of, breathe, do various tools, prayer, all that stuff too. I got to the place, although my legs were still shaky, I could stand. And I took 2 steps, and there was this beautiful like oasis, right? It's like this plateau. And where I was like in this wind tunnel, this one little spot that if you just take those 2 steps around the bend is this place where, they do like mule tours and stuff. So all the mules were there resting and drinking water, and people were hanging out taking pictures. So I'm like, it's like what we desire, it's right there. And it was like, it just was 2 steps away, and it's there, it's going to be there until I was able to overcome that fear and take those 2 steps to realize that good that was waiting for me. So that snowstorm story, and I've been in some of those experiences too, driving in that white snow, reminded me of that story of the Grand Canyon, and and although that was like visceral fear in my body, like how much that the fear, it can seem so real in our mind too, about whatever steps we want to take forward in our life, and how we can get paralyzed in that fear and doubt, just by not trusting ourselves or believing, that and forgetting who we are, rather. So yeah, that's what's coming to me now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I thought I would just share, we have just 2 minutes left, and I thought to say that, Rainbow, the word that really struck me that you used was emerge. Just the moment you used the word emerge, I had this like, I don't know, it landed with me like so powerfully, that our vision emerges. And it's so amazing because as the host today, truthfully, the part about the meditation portion of this, where I lead people in the meditation, and I've often felt like, this is not my thing. Like I feel like I'm trying to do Jennifer's thing. I can't do Jennifer's thing. I can't try to be her, but what is my thing? And I hadn't really like planned it. I just thought, well, I'll just let people be quiet. They could just be quiet. That's nice, And then, but it emerged that I could just softly go into those questions. And I had taught, we had once done just these a series of classes led by Linda, Lori, and I, just 3 of the counselors. And mine was covering the vision. And so I just was like, can I find those? And I'm busy, and I'm trying to be present, but I've easily found them, just like bam. And it was so cool that could emerge, and I didn't have to, and I was willing to go for it, and all the things aligning there. So it's just funny, even behind the scenes, this is just a constant communication we're having all the time, and our willingness to relax, to be ourselves, to not have to be someone else, and just to see what can come through and just go for it. Thank you. So that's behind the scenes. Yeah, and I'm going to close the breakout rooms. Justine's awake. But, and then it's like, I'm parenting with spirit all the time. But yeah, anybody have one final thought as people are coming back? Anybody want to share? Just feel free to unmute, or we can just call in our peeps. They'll be coming in a couple seconds. So,
well, when I was hosting and I had a little conversation with Jennifer, I said, well, I'll do my best to be you. And she said, no, be you. So it's exactly what came to you.
Yeah, thank you. I know. And being you, Rosalind, is incredible. Like, if we just be ourselves, it's like we're going to bring the best possible thing. So thank you for that reminder. Yes. And Justine, if you have, I don't know, Rainbow, if you've seen her in a long time, but Justine.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Just some pictures on Facebook, but it's been a while.
I know.
Oh, so cute.
I know. We are at the beach today. Tired her right out, even. Yeah, but we are. She's emerging.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not feeling like being on camera today. So, okay, let me just get myself up here, because I think everyone is back. Okay, great. So we're back from the breakout. Welcome back, everyone. And this is your opportunity. If you'd like to share anything that was a breakthrough for you, or you're making a declaration about your vision, or anything that came through from the conversation that you got to have with each other. So if anybody feels like putting that in the chat, we would love to hold your vision or acknowledge your aha. So feel free to do that. And thank you for sticking around and going to the breakout. I feel like it takes a lot of courage, and it's easy to duck out of that, but I'm hoping that that was really beneficial for you. So this is the moment where we just remind everyone. Let me just do this, because I feel like someone's okay. We just remind everyone that this service that we do every week is really, it takes the whole team. So if you feel guided to make a donation to support us in continuing to meet weekly and to bring in our speakers and to honor our speakers with tithes, we will be putting in the chat, there it is, our link to the Living A Course in Miracles series, where you can make a donation. Awesome, thank you. Awesome. Just happy that, Kat, you put in a little comment. Thank you. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can do a recurring donation there, or just a one-time donation. We're very thankful. Also, the daily text messages are another way that you can contribute. And we have the daily A Course in Miracles quotes, as well as the daily Jennifer Hadley daily prayer text. Okay. So those two options are another way that you can support us in what we are offering. If you know Jennifer, as we do, she likes to offer a lot, a huge buffet. And so to keep the buffet filled, all of the servings filled, yes, it takes a village. So if you feel so inspired to do that. Yes, and I feel like, okay. So the other thing that we can mention in this moment, and actually I may put you on the spot, Arba, I'm not sure how you feel about speaking about the Parenting with Spirit series, and just how people can jump in for our upcoming series speakers or kind of catch up, do you mind sharing about the Parenting with Spirit program that Rainbow is also going to be a part of?
It would be my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. As anyone who saw my Sundays with Spirit knows that parenting is near and dear to my heart. And as Rainbow spoke, it also has been one of my greatest teachers. So I'm putting into the chat, we have a program called Parenting with Spirit, where each faculty member, we have 6 faculty members who are presenting, and then the following week there's a support group where people can come ask questions as well as practice the tools that were taught over the previous week. We've had 2 faculty already finish. Elena Stark just finished her support group this morning, and next Sunday we have Sarah Angelides, parenting a child with a learning disability, and then we have Rainbow Welton on the August 22nd, Discipline with Love, and we'll finish out our series on Memorial Day. You can sign up for any of the classes individually or the entire series, and no worries about missing the first 2 classes. They're all on replay, as well as the support groups are also on replay. So we welcome anyone who is interested in joining us to do so. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Arva. Awesome. Yes, that was great to have you here. And for the Powerful of Ministry, our next, we're in the middle of the End My Self-Sabotage Challenge. We're right at the halfway point. It's such a powerful program where people are coming together to look at the ways they sabotage, and that might be the way you sabotage your vision. So people are joining together because in our joining we have so much power to support each other and move out of shame or regret or just the weight of fear, if there's any of those any behaviors arising that really are somehow blocking us living our vision, which we were talking about today. So that's going on right now. We're in the middle of it, but just like the Parenting with Spirit, there's still an opportunity to catch up and go forward with the group. And then our next offering that's coming up in the fall is our Stop Playing Small online retreat. And that really kicks off our fall into winter. And I can't believe the year is just like going this quickly. But yeah, and our programs are lined up right to the end of the year. So our Stop Playing Small online retreat, you'll be hearing more about that. And that's coming up. So thank you for your attention. Omi Yomi, this is your time to share another song with us, and feel free to let us know anything that's going on with you that you'd like to share, if you have any particular events or anything you'd like to guide us to. So feel free. Oh, I think we got to get you unmuted, Omi Yomi. There you go.
There you go. Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I left in the chat the website for my music, so you can always get my music on iTunes. It's also available on omiomimusic.com. And as mentioned, I'm also a healer and a priestess, and I offer various workshops and readings for people, and lots of ritualistic things, and sage and incense and just all kinds of things at Flames of Love healingservices.com. So please, if you're interested in a reading, a life path reading that we use through the African tradition Ifa, please get in contact with me through the website, or I can also leave my number here in the chat. And what's on my heart is something very, very simple and hopefully you can join with me, and because most people know this song, and we'll just lift the vibration together. Even if we can't hear you sing, we can feel ourselves sing together. Ashe? All right, here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, all around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now here we go, this big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Ashe, ashe.
Thank you. I love the big light.
Ashe.
I love that it's
Yes.
a big light. Oh,
Ashe.
thank you so much. And Rainbow, I just want to give
You're
you an
welcome.
opportunity. Thank you. An opportunity to share anything else you'd like to about what's upcoming for you, guide people to how they can get in touch with you if they'd like to work with you.
Sure, yes. So I do individual sessions, spiritual counseling, coaching. So you can go to my website for that, which is revrainbow.com. And I'll drop that in the chat too. And would love you to check out my community here because we also have a virtual presence, ahavacenter.com. And we're on Facebook, social media, all that stuff. Lots of great content that you can go back. We have, recorded meditations and talks and all that are on YouTube and Facebook as well. So that's where I am and what I'm up to. And I often teach classes through Ahava as well. So that would be the best place to kind of tap into what I'm offering, especially these days. We've moved a lot virtually, and now we're kind of doing a hybrid, but still continuing a lot of online virtual offerings as well. So thank you.
Yay, great. Okay, we do have your website in the chat, but we can take a moment so that you can put your Ahava. There it is. Okay, great. And we'll take this moment to thank GJ behind the scenes for being my sidekick, and him and I were just trying to do our best to cover 3 positions and probably 4, but just so much gratitude to you, GJ. He's here every single week supporting this service. So thank you. And thank you all for coming, for staying all the way to the end. And again, thank you, Omi Omi. Thank you, Rainbow, for coming and blessing us. And everybody who came and shared from their heart in any place that has happened today. So thank you. And awesome. There's GJ's. Thank you. And let's go ahead and close out with a prayer. Just taking a breath, giving thanks that we have this space to join this virtual spiritual center. We're thanking Jennifer for creating this, for holding the energetic container. We're thankful for everyone who has been magnetized to support this service. And for all of you who come, there's so much we could be doing. So we're grateful to be here. We're grateful for the message we've received. We're again thanking you, Rainbow and Omi Omi, for sharing your heart with us, for sharing what comes through you, your gifts, your talents with us. We're grateful for this reminder to be open, receptive, willing, looking forward to what's ours to do, what's for us to do that would bring us more joy, that would light us up, that would give us this big light that would be just impossible not to see and to want to know, what is that? And so we are willing to just be confusingly bright in this world and to attract more and more people to know that there is this infinite source of love and light that is loving on us all the time when we allow it. So we are going forth to be the light keepers and glowers and beamers, and we're so deeply grateful. We are blessed to have been here. We go forth to bless. So we let this be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Okay.